Om. Om. गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णुः गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुः साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः। अखण्डमण्डलाकारं व्याप्तं येन चराचरं तत्पदं दर्शितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानाम् आलयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादं शङ्करं लोकशङ्करम्। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। Should I read the shloka for 18th chapter? Balaji?
No, I think we'll just read the meanings.
Okay.
We'll just go through the meanings from the very beginning. It starts with Gita Dhyanam, which is called meditation. We'll start from that.
In Prasthanatrayam saying, we will start with the first chapter.
Not the first chapter. Before the first chapter, there is meditation. That is the Gita Dhyanam. That is the meaning of the Parthaya Pratibodhitam. Start from that. Start from the very beginning.
Okay, okay. Okay. Meditation.
Sorry, before we start, although we decided we will do Gurudev's Bhagavad Gita, this was advised by Nana that we do a summary of the whole meanings. This is just the word meanings as given in the Gita home study. This is a compilation of verse by verse meanings. So he advised that we do this. So this will give us a gist again of the whole, starting from chapter 1 up until chapter 18. After we've done this, then we'll go visit Bhagavad Gita from Gurudev. Yeah, Jai Gurudev.
Om, O Bhagavad Gita, with which Partha was enlightened by the Lord Narayana himself and which was incorporated in the Mahabharata by the ancient sage Vyasa, the blessed mother, the destroyer of rebirth, showering down the nectar of Advaita and consisting of 18 chapters. Shamyata. Om, O Bhagavad Gita, with which Partha was enlightened by the Lord Narayana himself and which was incorporated in the Mahabharata by the ancient sage Vyasa, the Blessed Mother, the destroyer of rebirth, showering down the nectar of Advaita and consisting of 18 chapters upon thee, O Bhagavad Gita, O loving mother, I meditate. Salutation to thee, O Vyasa, of mighty intellect and with eyes large like the petals of full blown lotuses, by whom was lighted the lamp of wisdom, full of the Mahabharata oil. Salutation to Krishna, the holder of the Jnana Mudra, granter of desires of those who take refuge in him, the milker of the Gita nectar, in whose hand is the cane for driving cows. All the Upanishads are the cows. The son of the cowherd is the milker. Partha is the calf. Men of purified intellect are the drinkers, and the supreme nectar, Gita, is the milk. I salute Krishna, the Guru of the universe, God, the son of Vasudeva, the destroyer of Kamsa and Chanura, the supreme bliss of Devaki, the son of Vasudeva. Yeah. The battle river with Bhishma and Drona as its banks, and Jayadratha as the water, with the king of Gandhara as the blue water lily, and Shailya as the sharp, with Kripa as the current and Karna as the breakers, with Ashwathama and Vikarna as terrible Makaras, and Duryodhana as the whirlpool in it, was indeed crossed over by the Pandavas with Keshava as the ferryman. May the taintless lotus of the Mahabharata, growing on the waters of the words of Parashara's son, having the Gita as its strong, sweet fragrance, with many a narrative as its stamens, fully opened by the discourses on Hari and drunk joyously day after day by the Brahmara of the good and the pure in the world. Be productive of the supreme good to him who is eager to destroy the taint of Kali. I salute that all bliss Madhava, whose compassion makes the mute eloquent and the cripple cross mountains. Salutation to that God whom the Creator Brahma, Varuna, Indra, Rudra, and the Maruts praise with divine hymns, whom the singers of Sama praise by the Vedas, with their full complement of parts, consecutive sections, and Upanishads, whom the yogis see with their minds absorbed in him through perfection in meditation, and whose limit the hosts of devas and asuras know not. So that was the Gita Dhyanam. And now we go to the chapter 18, by verse meaning. Moksha Sannyasa Yoga, Arjuna said, O mighty armed, I want to know distinctly the truth of sannyasa and tyaga. O Lord of the senses, slayer of Keshi. Shri Bhagavan said, the wise know sannyasa as renunciation of actions for desired objects. The learned people say renunciation of the result of...
Jai Gurudev Mela.
Yeah.
You need to start from chapter 1, no?
Okay, okay.
Chapter 1 downwards, yeah.
Okay, okay. I thought that, okay, fine. Yeah. The screen is okay because I don't know how to increase the font size. Do I need to increase the font size? Enable editing. I think this is no, it's the same. Here I will change. Yeah. Bhagavad Gita Home Study, Pujya Swami Dayanand Saraswati, Chapter 1, Arjuna Vishad Yoga, Arjuna's Sorrow. Dhritarashtra said, O Sanjaya, what indeed did my people and the Pandavas do, assembled at Kurukshetra, the abode of Dharma, desiring to fight? So that was the question. O Sanjaya, what indeed did my people and the Pandavas do, assembled at Kurukshetra, the abode of Dharma, desiring to fight? Sanjaya said, then seeing the army of the Pandavas in battle formation, King Duryodhana, approaching his teacher Drona, spoke these words. O teacher, please look at this great army of the sons of Pandu, formed and led by your brilliant disciple, the son of Drupada. Here are unrivaled experts equal to Bhima and Arjuna in battle. Man of great bows, Satyaki, the king of Virata, and King Drupada, a man of great valor. Drishtaketu, Chekitana, the valiant king of Kashi, Purujit, Kunti Bhoja, and Shaibya, the most exalted among men, the powerful Yudhamanyu, Uttamaujas, a man of great strength, Abhimanyu, the son of Subhadra, and the sons of Draupadi, all men of great valor, Maharatha. Satyaki was the son of Sini, a Yadava chieftain. He was a disciple of Arjuna and was totally devoted to Krishna. He was counted as an Atiratha. King Virata of Matsya Desha, also known as Virata Desha, was the father of Uttara, who was given in marriage to Abhimanyu. I think it was Arjuna, right? Uttara was Arjuna's wife. Okay, no problem.
No, Arjuna's wife was Subhadra.
Uttara is Abhimanyu's
There is a daughter-in-law.
Okay, okay. Okay. I read once again. King
Abhimanyu's wife
Virata.
is Uttara.
No, Arjuna's wife was Subhadra.
I know, but she's talking about what is the other name you said? Uttara, right?
Uttara is
Yeah.
Abhimanyu's wife.
Right, that's what I said. Okay, thanks.
Okay, okay, fine. King Virata of Matsya Desha, also known as Virata Desha, was the father of Uttara, who was given in marriage to Abhimanyu. It was in his country that Pandavas spent their Agnyatavasa. Drishtaketu was the son of Shishupala, the king of Chedi. Chekitana was a Yadava chieftain belonging to the Vrishni clan and was the commander of one of the seven Akshauhinis, Akshohinis of the Pandava army. I hope I'm reading correct the pronunciation.
Rakshoini means the horse, thousands.
Yeah, that was
Right.
Krishna's army. Yeah, the Sena of Pandava. Okay, Pandava's army. The king of Kashi was Abhibu. Purujit was the brother and Kunti Bhoja was the father of Kunti. Shaibya was the father of Devika, another wife of Yudhishthira. Yudhamanyu and Uttamaujas were brothers and princes under the king of Panchala. They fought valiantly for all the 18 days of the war, but were killed while sleeping by Ashwathama in the end. Abhimanyu was the son of Arjuna and Subhadra, sister of Krishna. He was a great warrior who was mercilessly killed by the ganging of all the Maharathas of the Kaurava army. Maharatha is he who by himself can fight with 10,000 bowmen simultaneously and who is an expert in using weapons and in the science of warfare. Atiratha is he who can fight with 1,000 to 10,000 bowmen simultaneously. Whereas, O learned among the twice born Brahmanas, please take note of those who are important amongst ourselves, the leaders of my army. I mention them in order to introduce them to you. Your Honor, Bhishma, Karna, and Kripa, who is always victorious in war. Ashwathama, Vikarna, Saumadatti, son of Somadatta, Jayadratha, and many other warriors, all experts in warfare, armed with many kinds of weapons, who have given up their lives for my sake, are present on our side. Kripa was the brother of Drona's wife, Krupi. He taught archery to the Kaurava and Pandava princes before Drona became their master. He is counted among Chiranjeevis, those who live forever. Ashwathama was the son of Drona and is also one of the Chiranjeevis. He was so fiercely devoted to Duryodhana that finally, on the last day, when he was sure that there was no more hope for Duryodhana, he went at night to the camp of the Pandavas and killed all the men there when they were asleep. Vikarna was a son of Dhritarashtra, an exception among the Dhritarashtras, and was noted for his sense of justice and righteousness. He was the only one who protested against the humiliation of Draupadi in the Kaurava Sabha. Saumadatti Bhurishrava was the grandson of Bahalika, older brother of Shantanu. Jayadratha was the husband of Duryodhana's sister Dushala and the king of Sindhu Desha. He was a great warrior. He was instrumental in the death of Abhimanyu by stopping the Pandavas from going to Abhimanyu's help when he was caught up inside the Chakravyuha. He could do this because earlier he had obtained a boon from Lord Shiva that he would defeat all the Pandavas together except Arjuna single-handed for one day. He used this boon to prevent the Pandavas from going in to help Abhimanyu. This led Arjuna to make a vow that if he did not kill Jayadratha by sunset of the next day, he would kill himself. The next day, Duryodhana did all he could to protect Jayadratha so that Arjuna would be forced to put an end to his own life. Again, Krishna saved the situation by creating an artificial sunset which made Jayadratha come out of his hiding. And then Arjuna could kill him to fulfill his vow. Our army, being larger, well protected by Bhishma, cannot be overwhelmed. Whereas the army of these people in front of us, even though protected by Bhima, can be overwhelmed. Stationed in your respective positions, in all the divisions of the army, all of you should indeed protect Bhishma in particular. Bhishma, the grandfather of the Kuru family, known for his valor, loudly let out a lion's roar and blew his conch in order to make Duryodhana happy. There is a internet instability notification. If my voice is breaking, please let me know. I am in the 12th shloka. I completed, now 13th. Then suddenly, conches, kettle drums, tabors, trumpets, and cow horns were blasted forth, and the sound was earth-shaking indeed. Then Madhava and Pandava, seated in the great chariot drawn by white horses, also sounded their divine conches. Rishikesha, Krishna, sounded the Panchajanya, Dhananjaya, Arjuna, the Devadatta, and Bhima, the man of terrible deeds, and one with the stomach of a wolf, sounded his huge conch, Poundra. King Yudhishthira, son of Kunti, blew Ananta Vijaya, and Nakula and Sahdev blew Shughosha and Manipushpaka. O king, the king of Kashi, an expert bowman, Shikhandi, the man of great valor, Drishtadyumna and Virata, and unsurpassed Satyaki, Drupada, the sons of Draupadi, and the mighty armed son of Subhadra, Abhimanyu, all blew their own conches. And that tremendous sound reverberating throughout the earth and sky pierced the very hearts of the sons of Dhritarashtra. Then, O king, seeing the sons of Dhritarashtra standing assembled and the shooting was about to begin, Arjuna, on whose banner was Numana, lifting his bow, said these words to Rishikesha, the lord of the senses. Arjuna said, place my chariot, O Achyuta, between the two armies, so that I can examine those people who stand here desirous of fighting, and also examine with whom I should fight at the onset of this war. I want to see those who have gathered here with the intention of fighting, wanting to please the son of Dhritarashtra the one whose thinking is distorted. Sanjaya said, O king, thus ordered by Gudakesha, Lord Rishikesha placed the best of chariots in the middle of the two armies, right in front of Bhishma, Drona, and all the rulers, and spoke thus, Partha, please look at these Kauravas who have gathered here. Then Partha, son of Pritha, saw standing there on both sides of the two armies paternal elders, grandfathers, teachers, uncles, brothers, sons, grandsons, fathers in law, and friends too. Then Kaunteya, the son of Kunti, seeing clearly all the assembled relatives, seized by deep compassion, sorrowfully said these words. Arjuna said, looking at these people, my own people, well stationed in battle position and desirous to fight, my limbs have lost all their strength. My mouth has gone dry. My body is trembling. And the hairs on my body are standing on end. The bow Gandiva slips from my hand, and my skin also burns. I cannot stand up, and my mind is totally confused as it were. O Keshava, I see bad omens, and I see no good in killing one's own people in this battle. O Krishna, I want neither victory, nor the kingdom, nor comforts. O Govinda, of what use are a kingdom, enjoyments, or even life to us? Those for whose sake the kingdom, enjoyments, and pleasures were desired by us, they have assembled in battle, having given up their wealth and their lives. These people are teachers, paternal uncles, sons, and also grandfathers, maternal uncles, in laws, grandsons, cousins, and other relatives, friends, and so on. O Madhusudana, the slayer of the demon Madhu, I don't want to kill these people who are about to kill me, not even for the sake of ruling over the three worlds, much less for this kingdom on earth. O Janardana, what kind of satisfaction would be there for us by destroying these sons of Dhritarashtra? Only sin would come to us by destroying these. Only sin would come to us by destroying these wrongdoers. Therefore, we should not kill our own relatives, the sons of Dhritarashtra. Having destroyed one's own people, O Madhava, how would we be happy? Although these people whose minds are destroyed by greed do not see the defect in the destruction of one's family and the sins of betraying one's friends. O Janardana, how can it not be known by us who know that sin is born of the destruction of the family to withdraw from this sin? When the family is destroyed, the ancient dharmas of the family die. When the dharma is lost, will not adharma overwhelm the entire family? O Krishna, due to the increase of adharma, the women in the family will be given to improper ways. When the women become corrupt, O Varshneya, confusion is born in the society. Confusion indeed leads the family and the destroyers of the family to hell. Their ancestors denied of their post-death rituals indeed fall. By these wrong actions of those who destroy the family, creating confusion in the society, the perennial dharmas pursued by the family and the community are destroyed. We have heard, O Janardana, that a life in hell is inevitable for those men who have destroyed the dharma of the family. Fie upon us, ready to fight, we are determined to commit the great sin of destroying our own people due to greed for a kingdom and its pleasures. It will be better for me if the sons of Dhritarashtra, with weapons in hand, were to kill me, who is unarmed and who does not retaliate. Sanjaya said, having spoken in this manner in the middle of the battlefield, putting aside his bow and arrows, his mind completely overcome by sorrow, Arjuna sat down on the seat of the chariot. Om Tat Sat iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Kshetre Shri Krishna Arjun Samvade Arjuna Vishad Yoga Nama Prathamodhyayah. Thus ends the first chapter called Arjuna Vishad Yoga, the chapter of Arjuna's sorrow in the Bhagavad Gita, which is in the form of a dialogue between Sri Krishna and Arjuna, which is the essence of the Upanishads, whose subject matter is both the knowledge of Brahman and yoga. Should I read further or we do Manana? Kindly guide me. The very beautiful word-to-word explanation clearly shows how adharmi Kauravas were and how compassionate and dharmic Pandavas were. In spite of their so much of injustice, he was surrendering and he was in complete sorrow. He was talking about punya and papa because he was not knowing his Atman, Brahman. Yeah, should we discuss?
We'll continue reading, Bela.
Is it? Okay. Okay. Yeah. Chapter 2, Sankhya Yoga, Knowledge. Sanjaya said to him who was sad and thus overwhelmed by compassion, whose eyes were filled with tears and showed distress, Madhusudana spoke these words. Shri Bhagavan said, in such a crisis, from where has this despair come upon you, O Arjuna? It is not at all becoming of an upright man and does not add to your good name, nor is it which leads one to heaven. O Partha, do not yield to unmanliness. This does not befit you. Give up this lowly weakness of heart and get up, O Parantapa, the vanquisher of enemies. Arjuna said, O Arisudana, the destroyer of foes, O Madhusudana, how will I, in this battle, fight with arrows against Bhishma and Drona, who are worthy of my worship? It would be better indeed to eat food collected from others here in this world than to kill these highly exalted teachers. Whereas if I kill them, the enjoyment of security and pleasure I would experience in this world will be stained with blood. And we do not know which of the two will be better for us, that we should conquer them or they should conquer us. The sons of Dhritarashtra, after slaying whom we will indeed not want to leave, stand facing us. Overcome by faint heartedness, confused about my duty, I ask you which is definitely better for me. Please tell me. I am your student. Please teach me. Who has taken refuge in you? I repeat these shlokas. Overcome by faint heartedness, confused about my duty, I ask you, which is definitely better for me. Please tell me, I am your student. Please teach me who has taken refuge in you. I do not see anything that will remove the sorrow that dries up my senses. Even if I were to obtain an unrivaled and prosperous kingdom on earth and sovereignty over the denizens of heaven. Sanjaya said, having spoken to Rishikesha in this manner, Gudakesha, the master of sleep, Parantapa, saying to Govinda, I shall not fight, became silent. O Bharata, Dhritarashtra, here, to him who was sad, Arjuna, in the midst of both armies, Rishikesha, as though laughing, said these words. Shri Bhagavan said, you grieve for those who should not be grieved for, yet you speak words of wisdom. The wise do not grieve for those who are living or for those who are no longer living. There was never a time that I did not exist, nor you, nor these kings, nor will any of us cease to exist in the future. Just as how for an indweller of this body, the jiva, there is childhood, youth, and old age, so too is the gaining of another body. With reference to that, a wise person does not come to grief. O son of Kunti, the context of the sense organs with the sensory world, which give rise to cold and heat, pleasure and pain, which have the nature of coming and going, are not constant. Endure them, O Bharata, descendant of Bharata. O Arjuna, the prominent among men, the person whom these sukha and dukkha do not affect, who is the same in pleasure and pain, and who is discriminative, is fit for gaining liberation. For the unreal, mithya, there is never any being. For the real, there is never any non-being. The ultimate truth of both of these is seen by the knowers of the truth. I repeat, for the unreal mithya, there is never.
Prabhuji, can you repeat from 13 one more time, please? I know you're
Yeah.
doing
Is
it.
my voice breaking too much? Then kindly take over, Dr. Mara, because there is a notification.
Yeah, it
Uh,
was. Yeah.
yeah, that's why I'm requesting
So
if
if
you
you
can.
want, I can do it. In case
So
it
Yeah,
far,
might.
do you want?
if it
If
is
there
There
is.
is
really disturbing, I will let you know. Okay, you can
Yeah.
continue reading.
Okay, from 13 onwards, I will continue then. Okay.
Thank
Yeah. Just as.
Just one suggestion from my side. These verses we will need to listen to and to be read without a break so that we get the whole
Okay.
gist. So we will reduce and minimize interruptions in between so that
Okay.
it'll go in a smooth flow. Yeah, thank you.
Just as how for an indweller of this body, the jiva, there is childhood, youth, and old age, so too is the gaining of another body. With reference to that, a wise person does not come to grief. O son of Kunti, the contacts of the sense organs with the sensory world, which give rise to cold and heat, pleasure and pain, which have the nature of coming and going, are not constant. Endure them, O Bharata, the descendant of Bharata. O Arjuna, the prominent among men, the person whom these sukha and dukkha do not affect, who is the same in pleasure and pain, and who is discriminative, is fit for gaining liberation. For the unreal, mithya, there is never any being. For the real, there is never any non being. The ultimate truth of both of these is seen by the knowers of the truth. Know that by which this entire world is pervaded to be indeed indestructible. No one can bring about the destruction of the one that does not change. These bodies of the embodied one, the self, which is not subject to change, which is indestructible, and which is not available as an object of knowledge, are subject to end. Therefore, O Bharata, fight. Both the one who thinks this self to be the killer and the one who thinks of it as the killed do not know. This self does not kill, nor is it killed. This self is never born, nor does it die. It is not that having been, it ceases to exist again. This self is unborn, eternal, undergoes no change whatsoever, and is ever new. When the body is destroyed, it is not destroyed. O son of Pritha, the one who knows this self to be indestructible, timeless, unborn, and not subject to decline, how and whom does that person kill? Whom does he cause to kill? Just as a person gives up old clothes and takes up new ones, so too the indweller of the body gives up old bodies and takes others which are new. Weapons do not cut this self, nor does fire burn it. Water does not wet or drown it, and wind does not dry it. This self cannot be cut, burnt, drowned, or dried. It is changeless, all pervading, stable, immovable, and eternal. This self is said to be unmanifest, not an object of thought, and not subject to change. Therefore, knowing this, you should not grieve. And if you take the Atma to have constant birth and death, even then, O mighty arm, you ought not to grieve for the Atma in this manner. Because for that which is born, death is certain, and for that which is dead, birth is certain. Therefore, you should not grieve over that which cannot be altered. All beings are unmanifest in the beginning, manifest in the middle, and again unmanifest in the end. What indeed is there to grieve about, O Bharata? One looks upon the self as a wonder. Similarly, another speaks of it as a wonder. Still another even after hearing about the self, does not understand it at all. This Atma, the indweller of the bodies of all being, is ever indestructible, O Bharata. Therefore, you ought not to grieve for all these people. And also, from the standpoint of your duty, you should not waver. For there is nothing greater for a Kshatriya than a righteous war. And, O son of Pritha, only lucky Kshatriyas get this kind of battle which has come by chance and which is an open gate to heaven. But if you refuse to engage in this war, which is in keeping with dharma, then forfeiting your own duty and honor, you will incur sin. Also, people will speak of your unending infamy. For the honored, dishonor is surely worse than death. The great warriors will consider you as having retreated from battle due to fear, and you, having been so highly esteemed by them, will fall in their esteem. And belittling your prowess, your enemies will say many unutterable things about you. Is there anything more painful than that? Destroyed, you will gain heaven. Victorious, you will enjoy the world. Therefore, O son of Kunti, get up, having resolved to fight. Taking pleasure and pain, gain and loss, victory and defeat to be the same, prepare for battle. Thus, you will incur no sin. This wisdom with reference to self-knowledge has so far been told to you. Now listen to the wisdom of yoga, endowed with which you will get rid of the bondage of action, O son of Pritha. In this, there is no waste of effort, nor are the opposite results produced. Even very little of this karma yoga protects one from great fear. With reference to this moksha, O joy of the Kurus, there is a single, well ascertained understanding. The notions of those who lack discrimination are many branched and innumerable indeed. O son of Pritha, the non-discriminating people who remain engrossed in karma, enjoined by the Veda and its results, arguing that there is nothing other than this, those who are full of desires with heaven as their highest goal for the attainment of pleasure and power, utter these flowery words and talk of many special rituals that are capable of giving better births and various results of actions. For those who pursue pleasure and power exclusively, whose minds are robbed away by those flowery words, well ascertained understanding does not take place in their mind. The subject matter of the Vedas is related to the three gunas, qualities. O Arjuna, be one who is free from the threefold qualities, from the sorrow of the pairs of opposites, one who is ever established in Sattva Guna, one who is free from the anxieties of acquiring and protecting, one who is a master of oneself. For the Brahmana who knows the self, all the Vedas are of as much use as a small reservoir is when there is a flood everywhere. Your choice in action only never in the results thereof. I repeat, your choice is in action only, never in the results thereof. Do not be the author of the results of action. Let your attachment not be to inaction. Remaining steadfast in yoga, O Dhananjaya, perform actions, abandoning attachment, remaining the same to success and failure alike. This evenness of mind is called yoga. Action based on desire is therefore far inferior to that performed with the proper attitude of karma yoga. Seek refuge in this buddhi yoga, the yoga of the proper attitude, O Dhananjaya. Those who perform action only for the results are misers. One who is endowed with the samatva buddhi, sameness of mind, gives up both punya and papa here in this world. Therefore, commit yourself to karma yoga. Karma yoga is discretion in action. The wise endowed with the attitude of karma yoga, having given up the results of action, free from the bondage of birth, indeed accomplish the end, that is free from all affliction. When your intellect crosses over the impurity of delusion, then you shall gain a dispassion towards what has been heard and what is yet to be heard. When your mind is no longer distracted by the Vedas, which present various means and ends to be gained, it will remain steady, firmly established in the self. Then you will gain self-knowledge. Arjuna said, O Keshava, what is the description of a person of firm wisdom, one whose mind abides in the Atma, the self? How does such a person whose mind is not shaken by anything speak, sit, and walk? Sri Bhagavan said, when a person gives up all the desires as they appear in the mind, O Partha, happy in oneself, with oneself alone, that person is said to be one of ascertained knowledge. The one who is not affected by adversities, who is without yearning for pleasures, and is free from longing, fear, and anger is said to be a wise person whose knowledge remains. For the one who is unattached in all situations, who neither rejoices on gaining the pleasant nor hates the unpleasant, his knowledge is well established. And when, like the turtle that withdraws its limbs, this person is able to completely withdraw the sense organs from their objects, his knowledge is steady. For one who does not feed the senses come back to oneself, leaving the longing behind. Having seen Brahman, when the self is known, even the longing goes away. Because the powerful senses of even the person who makes effort, who sees clearly, forcefully take the mind away, O Kaunteya. May one who is endowed with discrimination, keeping all the sense organs in one's own hands, sit in contemplation of me. For the one who has all the sense organs under control, The knowledge is well established. In the person who dwells upon objects, an attachment is born with reference to them. From attachment is born desire, and from desire, anger is born. From anger comes delusion, and from delusion comes the loss of memory. Because of the loss of memory, the mind becomes incapacitated. And when the mind is incapacitated, the person is destroyed. Whereas one whose mind is controlled, moving in the world of objects with the sense organs under one's control, free from likes and dislikes, attains tranquility. When the mind is tranquil, destruction of all pain and sorrow happens because the knowledge of one who is tranquil minded soon becomes well established. For the one who is not tranquil, there is no knowledge. For the one who is not tranquil, there is no contemplation. And for the one who is not contemplative, there is no peace. For the one who has no peace, how can there be happiness? The mind that follows the moving senses indeed robs the person of his knowledge, just as the wind carries away a small boat on the waters. Therefore, O mighty armed, the knowledge of one whose senses are completely withdrawn, mastered from their respective objects, is steady. In that which is night for all beings, the one who is wise, who has mastery over oneself, is awake. That in which beings are awake is night for the wise one who sees. Just as water flows into the ocean that is brimful and still, so too the wise person into whom all objects enter gains peace, remains unchanged, whereas the desirer of objects does not gain peace. Having given up all binding desires, the person who moves around, devoid of longing, without the sense of limited I and mine, gains peace. This is what is meant by being steady in Brahman, O Partha. Having gained this, one is not deluded. Remaining therein, even at the end of one's life, one gains liberation. Om Tat Sat. Iti Shri इति श्रीमद्भगवद्गीतासु उपनिषत्सु ब्रह्मविद्यायां योगशास्त्रे श्रीकृष्णार्जुन संवादे सांख्ययोगा नाम द्वितीयोऽध्यायः. Chapter 3, Karma Yoga, Karma. Arjuna said, if, O Janardana, your contention is that knowledge is better than action, why then do you impel me into this gruesome action, O Keshav? With words that are seemingly contradictory, you appear to be confusing my mind. Having decided which is better, tell me the one thing by which I shall gain liberation. Shri Bhagavan said, O sinless one, the twofold committed lifestyle in this world was told by me in the beginning, the pursuit of knowledge for the renunciates and the pursuit of action for yogis, those who pursue activity. A person does not gain the state of actionlessness by the non-performance of activities. Nor does the person attain success, liberation out of mere renunciation, sannyasa. Indeed, no one ever exists, even for even a second, without performing action, because everyone being helpless is made to perform action by the three gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas, born of prakriti. The one who controlling the organs of action sits with the mind remembering the sense objects is deluded and is called a person of false conduct. Whereas, O Arjuna, the one who controlling the sense organs with the mind is unattached and takes to the yoga of action, that is action performed with yoga buddhi, with the organs of action, is far superior. Do action that is to be done, because action is superior to inaction. And due to inaction, even the maintenance of your body would become impossible. This person who is enjoined to do action is bound by karma other than that performed for the sake of yajna. That is, other than the action performed as an offering to Ishvara. For this reason, O Kaunteya, being one free from attachment, perform action for the sake of that yajna. In the beginning, the Creator, having created human beings along with yajna, said, by this yajna shall you multiply. May this yajna be a wish-fulfilling cow for you. Propitiate the deities with this yajna. May those deities propitiate you. Propitiating each other, thus you shall gain the highest good moksha. The gods propitiated by yajna will give you desirable objects. Therefore, one who enjoys objects given by them without offering to them in return is indeed a thief. I repeat, the gods propitiated by yajna will give you desirable objects. Therefore, one who enjoys objects given by them without offering to them in return is indeed a thief. Those who eat, having first offered the food to the Lord, are released from impurities, whereas those sinful people who cook only for themselves eat papa, sin. Living beings are born of food. Food is born of rain. Rain is born of yajna, punya. And yajna is born of action. May you understand that karma, ritual, prayer, etc., to be born of the Veda, and the Veda to be born of the imperishable Ishvara. Therefore, all pervasive Brahma, the Veda, abides always in yajna. A person who does not live here in this life according to the cosmic will already set in motion in this manner and lives in sin, given only to the pleasures of the senses, lives wastefully. Whereas for the person who would delight in the self, who is satisfied with the self, contented in the self alone, there is nothing to be done. For that person who revels in the self, there is indeed no purpose here in this world for doing or not doing action. Nor does such a person depend on any being for any object whatsoever. Therefore, always perform well the action that is to be done without attachment, because by performing action without attachment, a person attains the highest. Indeed, by action alone, Janaka and others gained liberation. Also, by merely seeing the desirability of protecting the people from falling into unbecoming ways, you ought to perform action. Where whatever an important person does, that alone the other people do. Whatever that person sets as proper, the world of people follows. O Partha, for me, there is nothing to be done. In the three worlds, there is nothing to be accomplished by me which is not yet accomplished. Yet I am engaged in action. Because should I ever not engage myself in action without being lazy? O Partha, people would follow my example in every way. If I were not to perform action, these people would perish. I would be the author of confusion in the society, and I would destroy these beings. O Bharata, just as the unwise who are O Bharata, just as the unwise who are attached to the results perform action, so too would the wise perform action without attachment, desirous of doing that which is for the protection of the people. The Vidwan, wise person, should not create any disturbance in the understanding of the ignorant who are attached to the results of action. The wise person, steadfast in the knowledge, himself performing all the actions well, should encourage the ignorant to perform all actions. Actions are performed in various ways by the gunas of Prakriti, the body, mind, and senses. Deluded by the I notion, one thinks I am the doer. Whereas, O Arjuna, the knower of the truth, knowing the distinction between the body, mind, sense, complex, and action, knowing that the senses, mind, and organs of action engage themselves with reference to their respective objects alone, is not bound. Those who are deluded by the modifications of the Prakriti become bound in the modifications of the body, mind, sense complex and actions. One who knows the self should not disturb those who do not know the self, who are not discriminative. Renouncing all actions unto me, with a mind that is discriminating, devoid of expectations with reference to the future, and any sense of mindness, without any anger or frustration, whatever, fight. Those people who constantly follow this teaching of mine, full of faith, without asuya, without finding fault with the teaching or the teacher, they too are released by the karma phalas. They are freed from the hold of the karma phalas. They gain moksha. Whereas those who, being critical without reason, do not follow my vision, who are deluded in all realms of knowledge and devoid of discrimination, know them as lost. Even a wise man acts in keeping with one's own nature. Because all beings follow their own nature, of what use it is control? There is attachment and aversion with reference to every sense object. May one not come under the spell of these two, because they are one's enemies. I repeat, there is attachment and aversion with reference to every sense object. May one not come under the spell of these two because they are one's enemies. Better is one's own imperfectly performed dharma than the well performed dharma of another. Death in one's own dharma is better. The dharma of another is fraught with fear. Arjuna said, impelled by what does a person commit sin? Though pushed by some force, even though not desiring to. O Varshneya, Sri Bhagavan said, this desire, this anger, born of the guna, rajas, is a glutton and a great sinner. Know that to be the enemy of this entire world. Know that to be the enemy. I repeat, Kshamyatam, Sri Bhagavan said, this desire, this anger, born of the guna rajas, is a glutton and a great sinner. Know that to be the enemy here in this world. Just as fire is covered by clouds of smoke, just as a mirror is covered by dust, and just as a fetus is covered by the womb, so too knowledge is covered by desire. Knowledge is covered by this, O Arjuna, the insatiable fire of desire, the constant enemy of the wise. Its location is said to be the senses, mind, and the intellect. With these, it karma dilutes the person by covering the person's wisdom. Therefore, O Arjuna, controlling the senses at the outset, destroy indeed this sinner, the destroyer of knowledge and wisdom. They say that the sense organs are superior to the body, the mind is superior to the sense organs, the intellect is superior to the mind, whereas the one who is superior to the intellect is he, Atma. O Arjuna, thus knowing that which is superior to the intellect, having made the mind steady for the buddhi, Kshamyatam, having made the mind steady with the buddhi, destroy the enemy that is in the form of desire, that which is difficult to understand. Om Tat Sat. Iti Srimad Bhagavad Gitasu Upanishatsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjun Samvade Karma Yoga Nama Tritiyodhyayah. Chapter 4, Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoga. knowledge and the renunciation of action. Sri Bhagavan said, I taught this imperishable yoga to Vivaswan. Vivaswan taught it to Manu, and Manu taught it to Ikshvaku. Handed down from generation to generation in this way, the kings who were sages knew it. But with the long lapse of time, O Arjuna, this yoga has declined in the world. Today, that same ancient yoga has been told to you by me because you are my devotee. This is indeed a profound secret. Arjuna said, your birth was not so long ago, whereas Vivaswan's birth was a long time ago. How am I to know that you told this to Vivaswan in the beginning? Sri Bhagavan said, many births have passed for me and you, O Arjuna. I know all, whereas you do not know, O Praparantapa. Even though being one who is unborn, one whose knowledge does not wane, and also being the Lord of all beings, still building my own Prakriti, I, as though come into being by my own creative power. O Bharata, whenever there is a decline in right living and an increase in wrong living everywhere, I bring myself into being. Assume a physical body. For the protection of those who are committed to Dharma and the destruction, conversion of those who follow adharma, and for the establishment of Dharma, I come into being every yuga. The one who knows in reality my divine birth and action in this way, O Arjuna, giving up the body, that person is not born again. He attains me. Free from craving, fear, and anger, totally resolved in me, taking refuge in me, purified by the discipline of knowledge, many have come back to my nature. Those who worship me in whatever way, I bless them in the same way, O Partha. People follow my path in all ways. Desiring the results of actions here in this world, they worship the gods. For in the world, result born of action comes very quickly. A four-fold grouping of people, a division based on duties and qualities, was created by me. Even though I am its author, know me to be a non-doer, ever changeless. Actions do not affect me. There is no longing with reference to the result of action for me. The one who knows me clearly in this way is not bound by actions. Knowing me in this manner, even seekers of ancient times performed actions. Therefore, indeed, perform action just as it was done by those who came before in the ancient past. Even the seers, scholars are confused with reference to what is action and what is actionlessness. I shall tell you about action, knowing which you will be released from what is inauspicious samsara. Action enjoined by the scriptures is also to be known. Forbidden action and actionlessness must also be known. This is because the nature of karma is difficult to understand. The one who sees actionlessness in action and action in actionlessness is wise among human beings. That person is a yogi who has done everything that is to be done. The one for whom all undertakings are free from desire for results and will, whose actions are burned up by the fire of knowledge, the sages call that person wise. Giving up the deep attachment to the results of action, always contented, being not dependent on anything, one does not do anything, even though fully engaged in action. The person who is free from expectations, whose body, mind, senses have been mastered, who has given up all possessions, doing only actions that sustain the body, does not incur sin. The one who is happy with whatever comes by chance, who is unaffected by the opposites, free from jealousy and ever minded with reference to success and failure, is not bound even though performing action. The karma of one who is free from attachment, who is liberated, whose mind is rooted in self-knowledge, who performs for the sake of daily yajna, resolves totally. The means of offering is Brahman. The oblation is Brahman, offered by Brahman into the fire, which is Brahman. Brahman indeed is to be reached by him who sees the means of offering is Brahman. The oblation is Brahman, offered by Brahman, offered by Brahman into the fire, which is Brahman. Brahman indeed is to be reached by him who sees everything as Brahman. Karma yogis perform only those rituals that invoke the deities, while others, sannyasis, offer unto the fire knowledge of Brahman. Others offer their organs of hearing and other senses into the fire of self-mastery, while still others offer sound and other sense objects into the fire of the senses. Others offer all the activities of the senses and the organs of action unto the fire of self-mastery, lighted by knowledge. So too, there are those who distribute wealth, those who follow prayerful disciplines, those who practice yoga, and those of firm vows and efforts who pursue knowledge. So too others, those who are committed to the practice of pranayama, breath control, stopping the flow of inhalation and exhalation, offer the outgoing breath into the incoming breath and the incoming breath into the outgoing breath. Others who regulate their food intake offer their desire to eat more unto the digestive fires. All these people who observe religious disciplines become, without exception, those for whom the impurities of the mind have been destroyed by the yajna. O best among the Kurus, those who partake of the nectar, the result that is left over after the yajna, reach the eternal Brahman. For the one who does not perform yajna, nothing is gained in this world. How then can anything be gained in any other world? In this manner, many and varied yajnas, religious disciplines, are very elaborately mentioned in the words of the Veda. Understand them all to be born of karma and therefore anatma. Knowing thus, you will be liberated. This discipline of knowledge, O Parantapa, is superior to religious disciplines performed with materials. O Partha, all action in its entirety is resolved in knowledge. Understand that which is to be known by prostrating, by asking proper questions, and by service. Those who are wise, who have the vision of the truth, will teach you this. Knowing this knowledge, which was taught by them, O Pandava, you shall not again be deluded in this manner. And by this knowledge, you shall see all beings in yourself and in me. Even if you are the greatest sinner among all sinners, you will cross all sin with ease by the raft of knowledge alone. Just as a lighted fire reduces wood to ashes, O Arjuna, so too the fire of knowledge reduces all actions, results of actions to ashes. Therefore, in this world, there is no purifier equivalent to knowledge. One who has in time attained preparedness through Karma Yoga naturally gains knowledge in the mind. One who has faith in the Shastra and in the words of the teacher, who is committed to that knowledge and who is master of one's senses, gains the knowledge. Having gained the knowledge, one immediately gains absolute peace. One who has no discrimination and who has no faith in the Shastra and the teacher, and one who has a doubting mind perishes. Because for the one with a doubting mind, this world is not there, nor the world beyond, nor happiness. O Dhananjaya, actions do not bind the one who has renounced action through yoga, whose doubts have been completely severed by knowledge, and the one who is together. Therefore, O Bharata, slaying with the sword of knowledge this doubt about the self, which is born of ignorance, which is rooted in the mind. Get up and take to yoga, karma yoga. Om Tat Sat. Iti Shri Maha Iti Shri Madbhagavad Gita Upanishadsu Brahma Vidyayam Yoga Shastre Shri Krishna Arjun Samvade Jnana Karma Sannyasa Yoganam Chaturthodhyayah. Om Tat Sat. Shall
We'll continue chapter 5 tomorrow.
okay.
We'll stop here today. Om Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om Tat Sat Shri Krishnarpanamastu. Jai Gurudev.
निरुपमनित्यनिरंशकेऽप्यखण्डे मयि चिति सर्वविकल्पनादिशून्ये घटयति जगदीश जीवभेदम् त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया श्रुतिशतनिगमान्तशोधकानपि अहह धनादिनिदर्शनेन सद्यः कलुषयति चतुष्पदाद्यभिन्ना न घटितघटना पडीयसी माया सुखचिदखण्डविबोधमद्वितीयम् वियदनलादिविनिर्मित्ते नियोज्य भ्रमयति भवसागरे नितान्तम् त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया अपगतगुणवर्णजातिभेदे सुखचितिविप्रविडार्यहङ्कृतिं च स्फुटयति सुतदारकेहमोहम् त्वघटितघटना पटीयसी माया विधिहरिहरविभेदमप्यखण्डे बत विरचय्य बुधानपि प्रकामम् भ्रमयति हरिहरविभेदभावान् घटितघटना पडीयसी माया त्वघटितघटना पडीयसी माया
Awesome, Belaji. Thank you.